What is going on YouTube? It's Primitive here bringing you another deck list video. Today we're going to be showcasing the D-Brigade deck list that we had in our last video where we had the D-Brigade showcase versus Justin. So if you're interested in seeing his list, make sure you check out his channel. I'm going to have his link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to him because he's my good friend, my testing partner. So if you enjoy the content that I'm going to get here, you're going to enjoy his content because we're going to be making a lot of the similar, same high level stuff. So let's get right into this deck list profile. So starting off with the eggs, I got 2 Missimon and 3 Sumamon. The reason why I go with the split is, one, I'm naturally really a big fan of the 3-2 egg split, but the thing is you're going to have so many Commandramon on board that with the Sumamon you're going to get that 2k boost, and it's like having Missimon, but you get the extra 2k boost. But the reason Missimon is still good as a 2-of because it does boost your Sealsdramon and your Tankdramon, and even your Darkdramon if you do end up having to Digivolve your Darkdramon on top of your Tankdramon, but it'll give you that boost up anyway. But since we're mostly going to have Commandramon on our eggs, the Sumamon does take the priority over the Missimon, but I am a big fan of the 3-2 egg split. Then getting into it, our rookies, we do play the 16 Commandramon, so we have the 4 rare Commandramon, which is the best Commandramon because this one's going to surge. It pairs really well with Tankdramon, and so a lot of times I'll set up, try to get 1-2 Tankdramons on board, and then swing in with this Commandramon. So that way with one swing, I end up bringing maybe out 2 to 3 different Commandramon and really swarming the board, which then I can even Digivolve blockers on and whatnot and develop a really strong board. Then of course we have the 4 blockers, which is really strong. This is one of my favorite ones to get off of the rare Commandramon when searching, or even Tankdramon, just because it's so much safety, and not having to pay memory with attacking with a blocker is so incredibly powerful, and this just has such a great art that I love playing it. Then of course the 2-drop Commandramon, because it's a 2-drop, so it's going to be super powerful to just swarm the board. I had a couple games playing this deck before where I just had Rookie Rush Commandramon essentially, where I was just playing these out, and in the first couple turns I had 3 of the 2-drops out. So, and then of course we have the 5k starter deck Commandramon, which is super amazing. Getting this out for free is really good, but putting it on top of a Sumamon and swinging for 7k is insane, because you can literally have your rookies trade into ultimates if needed. So it's so incredibly powerful that you definitely play all 16, because D-Brigade is naturally a Rookie Rush style deck list, so you want to be running all 16, and the synergy is great. Some people play 3 of the 5k Commandramon just because they say it's a 4-drop, it's not as good, and if you want a 4-drop you want to play the blocker, but I say you play all 16 so you get all your Commandramon triggers as often as possible. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our champions. We are going to start off, we have 4 Tankmon. Tankmon isn't anything special. You pretty much run Tankmon in a lot of D-Brigade lists just because it's 1 to Digivolve, so it's going to get you up to your Tankdramon the fastest. So it's pretty stable, it's just 1 to Digivolve, nothing else to really say there. And then we got 4 Sealsdramon. 4 Sealsdramon is because it's a D-Brigade. The blocker is nice. I'm not the biggest fan of blocker lists and blockers in most D-Brigade lists, but in this list really nice because we're focused on end game, so having that survival for early game and going into mid game with the blockers is super useful, and with them being D-Brigade, even blocking and them going to trash is a good thing because it does set you up for your Darkdramons. So all around Sealsdramon is great, and it's an auto 4 of. Then we're playing 3 of the Security Garurumon because this deck does have a lot of Security Digimon into it, because it's just swarming the board. It's free attack, so if your opponent swings in, they hit the Garuru, it comes out, and Digivolving it for 2 isn't that big of a deal because you have a lot of 2 to Digivolve in this deck with the Sealsdramon, so playing the 2 to Digivolve isn't that big of a deal. You'll get to your ultimate anyway, but having the upside of this potentially coming out for free from Security is worth playing it, in my opinion. And then we just play 1 Dark Tyrannomon. The reason is because it's just a 1 to Digivolve. The extra blocker is okay if you're playing against a more aggressive deck like Imperial or Rookie Rush, but the main reason I run the 1 Dark Tyrannomon is just because it's an extra 1 to Digivolve. The blocker is nice, but this is mostly here just because it is an extra 1 to Digivolve. Now getting into our ultimates, we're playing 4 Tankdramon. There's not really much to say here. We're playing this because it is a more mid to late game D-Brigade list, so you play 4, it's consistent, it's going to cycle out your D-Brigade and make it so you're going to be just swarming the board consistently and always hitting your triggers. Next we have 2 Gogmamon. I love Gogmamon list in this list. One, because the Digibursts are really good in this list because they get D-Brigades into the trash for Darkramon. But the main reason Gagmon is really good is it can boost up your other Digimon and make it so it's safer for them to swing into security. So like you'll see, we have Black War Greymon, so boosting up Black War Greymon, and then trying to go in for a couple swings, boosted up to 13, 15, maybe 17k is extremely powerful. And then even just DG bursting this and then going into maybe something like Garurumon, so then you can swing in and then reboot. There's a lot of things that you can do with Gagmon, and it has the nice inheritable where all turns you get an extra 1k DP, so it does make your level 6s a little bit better. So I'm a big fan of Gagmon. Next, we're playing 2 Andromon. The reason we're playing 2 Andromon is, one, I wasn't a big fan of playing more than 2 Gagmon. It is good, but I don't want to see it all the time, and the level 5s in black are not the best. So you have to kind of just pick what you can get, the best of the best, I guess, which is, there's not a lot of best, but pulling this out from Crest Garuru, as you say, we're playing Crest Garuru. Pulling this out from Crest Garuru is extremely powerful, but the main thing that really drew me to Andromon is the fact that in the Imperial Dramon matchup, Dino Beamon and Pyodramon can't swing into this. It will trade. And so getting this off Crest Garuru or just Digivolving into that matchup is really good. And I do see Imperial Dramon as one of the worst matchups for this, so being able to tech for it is pretty nice. And then to top it off, we play 1 Waromonzemon. I just like 1 Waromonzemon because it's a 5 to play if you need to, but the main thing is the 2 to Digivolve. I like having the 2 to Digivolve, and I'm sure there's other 2 to Digivolve options, but I like the 5 to play, 2 to Digivolve options just because having a 5 to play in a more late game dominant deck is extremely powerful, especially because we are playing a Mat and Tai, as you'll see, which means that we do have the possibility of starting our turn at 5 memory, which means we can play this and then go into Mega on our turn still. Now going into our Megas, we have 3 Darkramon, which is standard for D-Brigade. I like to play 3 over 4, just because I feel 3 can get really clunky. You usually can play maybe 2 max a game, so going for 4 gets a little clunky. 3 just makes it so you see them consistently enough to where you can be able to play them when you need them to swing in for game, or if you just want to play it so that way you can go into a Zwart or a Zwart Defeat on top of it. Whatever it is, I think 3 is best. I think 4 is too clunky, and I've played enough different D-Brigade decks to know how I feel comfortable at 3, so I recommend if you're trying to test this to start testing at 3. If you feel you want to go up to 4, test that, but I will say there's a lot of times where you have 2 to 3 in your hand when you're running 4 and it's way clunky. Next, we're running 2 Black War Greymon. This Black War Greymon is really good because it's offensive, so this deck does have a lot of offensive tools. So with this, you can pair it with Gagmon to go for multiple swings, but the main thing is it's a Digiburst focused Mega, which is important in this deck because you can Digiburst your D-Brigade into the discard or in the trash, so that you can set up your Darkramon, like we've talked about multiple times before. So 2 Black War Greymon is really good. And then to top off our Megas, I'm playing 2 techs. I'm playing 1 Crest Garuru and 1 Metal Garuru. The reason I'm playing 1 instead of 2 of one of these is because they just give me kind of options. I like Crest Garuru because it puts something on the board, and I like Metal Garuru because it can get rid of blockers, or maybe something else that's more troublesome, like maybe a Vmon or just anything like that. And then I've also had a couple games where I've Digibursted this and I didn't have a target, so I trashed their top security and then was able just to attack. And they both have Reboot, which is really good because a lot of times where I've gone into Tankdramon, I've swung over something and then Digivolved into one of these and then was able to reboot the next turn, which makes it so that I'm not susceptible being swung over. And then they both are just not amazing, but they are good enough. I do like them both. I like them as 1, and I wouldn't commit to 2 of either. I think they're good as 1 both. They both have good techs, and you're just trying to get to your level 7s, so they're just good fillers. And then speaking of level 7s, we're playing 2 Zwart Defeats and 1 Zwart. The reason we're playing Zwart Defeats is, 1, it's 3 to Digivolve, which is super cheap for level 7, so being able to go on top of our Darkramon for 3 is extremely good because that way we can delete a Tamer on Digivolution, but we also have this threat, and where on deletion we can just delete anything, which is a super good threat. And we also have the security upside, which is amazing and what this deck loves. And so being able to hit this out of security is almost always extremely bad for your opponent, and whenever they hit it and see it come out, they're probably going to like swallow a little bit because they're not going to feel it too good. And then I play 1 Zwart. Even though Zwart is probably better for the deck, I only like it as 1 just because 6 to Digivolve is a lot to commit, and there are a lot of times where you'll get to this, and after you shuffle in all your Darkdramon, or when you play Darkdramon and shuffle in all your D-Brigade, you're not going to have a big discard pile, and so you're not going to have a lot of options. So I found Zwart Defeat to be a lot better of an option than regular Zwart, but it's still such a good option that I think it's a good one-of. It's good to play when it does, but I think the cheaper to Digivolve and the upsides of security and the on-deletion of Zwart makes it superior to the regular Zwart, but the 2-to-1 is still a good ratio. Then we have 2 Izzy and 1 Ty and Matt. I played 2 Izzy just because it's our memory tamer. We have mostly black cards, so it hits a lot to get the extra memory and only play for 3. But we do want the memory tamer because Darkdramon relies on you being at least 3 to activate, so it's necessary to play memory tamer so that way you can get there. And then I play 1 Ty and Matt. This is kind of testing, but it's been really good in this deck because 1, it gives you a lot of extra memory, and 2, we are playing the 3 Omnimon and the Zwart Defeats that come out for free, so it makes it so if your opponent goes into Mega, you get an upside, and also if you get your Zwart's Defeats out or your regular Zwart, you can swing for 2 security checks. And if you saw our match versus Justin, there was a couple times where I swung for a couple security checks with the Zwart Defeat, which forced him to have to block, which really gave me an upside in the board positioning of that game. But with that being said, that is my D-Brigade list that was showcased in our match. Like I said, if you are interested in checking out the other list, go into the description. You'll see Justin's channel. He'll have the video up at the same time that I'm uploading this video. And so if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out Justin's channel, and I'll see you next time for the next video. Peace out.